Graad 8, les nommer 17, hierdie was jou huiswerk sommetjies geweest, dis was jou homework. Simplify, 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 vereenvoudig, vereenvoudig. Wat is hier om te doen? Hakie sê jy moet maal. So it's a plus times a minus is a minus, en dis dit, want daar's niks anders nie. En dit wat nou hier oor is gelyksoortige terme, like terms. So you keep the variable A3, jy hou die veranderlike en jy tel net die koëffisiënte bymekaar. 4 minus 2 is 2, just add the coefficients. 4 minus 2 is 2, not a to the anything else, a to the 3. Now if you have a look at 5, 6, 7 and 8, they've all got exactly the same terms or expressions. As jy dit nou wil gaan kyk na dit, dis alles dieselfde, maar daar is dit geplus, hier is dit gemin, daar is dit gemaal en daar is dit gedeel. But it doesn't matter, when you go into a sum assess, there's only one thing to do, a minus times a minus is a plus. En dis al verskil met die vorige ene, dit is 'n min maal 'n min is 'n plus. The rest is still again, they are like terms, keep the variable, add the exponent, add the coefficients. 4 plus 2 is 6. Tel die koëffisiënte bymekaar, gee vir jou 4 plus 2 is 6. Nie a tot die 6 nie, jy tel die eksponente bymekaar nie, jy hou die veranderlike, tel die koëffisiënte bymekaar. The rules. When you add and they are like terms, keep the variable, add the coefficients. As jy gelyksoortige terme optel, hou die onbekende of veranderlike, tel die koëffisiënte bymekaar. Nou is jy besig om te maal. So, jy gaan tekens, getalle, veranderlikes deur die eksponente op te tel. When you time, you say, first the sign, then the numbers, then the variables by adding coefficients. Other rules than here because this was adding and subtracting. Nou is dit maal en deel. So, eers die teken, 'n plus maal 'n min is 'n min. 4 maal 2 is 8. En hou die grondtal a en tel die eksponente bymekaar. So, it's a plus times a minus is a minus. 2 times 4 is 8. 8 to the 3 times 8 to the 3. The bases are the same. Keep the base, add the exponents. Definitely not the same as this. The exponent is to the power 6 because you were multiplying. Jou eksponent word a tot die mag 6 want jy is besig om te maal. As jy deel, selfe storie. Eers die tekens, dan die getalle, dan die veranderlikes deur die eksponente af te trek. When you divide, you subtract exponents. Personally, I like to write, if it's a division sum, write it on top of each other. En dis miskien 'n goeie idee vir jou om dit ook te doen. Jy hoef nie, jy kan dadelik die antwoord gaan kry, of jy kan dit so gaan skryf. If you didn't write it that way, you'd say a plus times a minus is a minus. 4 divided by I said plus, doesn't matter. Plus divided by a minus is a minus. 4 divided by 2 is 2. And when you divide a to the 3 by a to the 3, you subtract exponents to get a to the 0, which you're not going to write. If you write a to the 0, the next step is a is minus 2. As jy gesê het, plus gedeel deur 'n min is 'n min. 4 gedeel deur 2 is 2. A tot die mag 3 gedeel deur a tot die 3. Hou die a, trek af die 3 minus 3 is a tot die 0. Maar jy los nie a tot die 0 daar nie, jy moet dit verder vat. If you did it this way, plus divided by a minus is a minus. 4 goes into 2 goes into 4 2 times, and the a to the 3's cancel out, so you're left with exactly the same answer. Personally, I like to write it in a fraction form so you can divide easier or nicer. Next one is all about distributive law. Distributiewe wet. Jy kan nie binne in die hakie optel nie want dit is ongelyksoortig. You can't add the like terms inside of the term because there are no like terms. So distributief, timing, tekens, getalle, veranderlikes. First the sign, then the number, then the variable. So plus times a plus is a plus. 2 times 2 is 4 times a. Plus times a plus stays a plus. 2 times b is 2b. 2 maal 2 is 4 maal met a. 2 maal b is net 2b. Moenie van die uitgelykhandtekens vergeet nie. Plus maal 'n plus bly 'n plus. 3 maal a is 3a. Plus times a minus is a minus. 3 times 2 is 6 times b. En nou stop jy nie daar nie. This is a 4-term answer that can simplify want daar's gelyksoortige terme. So jy hou die veranderlike, maar jy tel die koëffisiënte 4 en 3 bymekaar. You keep the variable b and you add the plus 2 and the minus 4 gives you minus 6 give you minus 4. Plus 2 en min 6 geef jou minus 4. That I can't add, add because they are unlike terms. Nommer 11, weer. As ek binne in die hakie kan optel, sou ek, maar dis ongelyksoortig. If I could add inside the bracket, I would have, but they are all unlike terms. So dis distributiewe wet, you time in. When you time, it's sign, number, variables by adding exponents. So plus maal 'n plus is 'n plus. 2 maal 2 is 4 en die x kwadraat staan net daarby want daar's niks wat jy met hom kan doen nie. There's no other x, you can't add exponents. So it's 2 times 2 is 4x squared. Plus maal 'n min is 'n min. 2 maal 3 is 6 en dan staan daar nog 'n x by. Plus maal 'n plus bly 'n plus. 2 maal 1 is 2. 2 times 1 is just 2. So a minus times a, again, the distributive law here, all 3 times there. Min maal 'n plus is 'n min. 1 maal 3 is 3 en x maal x, when I time x by x, both of them has exponents 1, so it's exponent 2. When you time, you keep the base, add exponents. As jy maal, hou jy die grondtal x en tel die eksponente bymekaar. Weer 'n min maal 'n plus is 'n min, x maal 2 is 2x. Nou tel ek die gelyksoortige terme bymekaar, gelyksoortige terme met x kwadrate, so if they have the same variable they like, and I keep the variable x squared, and I say 4 minus 3 coefficients is 1. 4 minus 3 is 1, wat jy nie daar hoef te skryf nie. Dan sit ek met die x veranderlike, so daar gaan ietsiekie x wees, there's going to be something x, namely, the coefficient minus 6 and minus 2 is minus 8. It's not a minus times a minus, you're not timing. En dan sit jy met 'n plus 2 wat niks meer bygetel was nie. En jou antwoord is 'n 3-term, it's a trinomial, 3-term, trinoom antwoord wat jy nie verder iets aan kan doen nie. Hoekom staan hierso by hierdie vraagie y mag nie 0 wees nie? Why is that specification there? Because if y was 0, the whole sum is missing, undefined. So I need to first decide what to start with. Don't start on silly methods. First thing is that bracket must be done. You could have said, put the both of them on the same, on each denominator first, or you could first say, time this all in. So this one has to be done first. That you can go and say, it's a minus times a minus is a plus, times a plus stays a plus. The y to the 2 times 4y is going to be 4, just 4 times 1 is 4. En dan sit a, keep the base, a tot die mag 2 plus 1, which will give me y to the power 3. That little bit has to be done first. Hierdie 8a tot die derde op 2a kwadraat kan nou maar eers net daar staan, but the alternative was to first write each of them on their own denominator. This over each other and that over each other as well. That's perfect. Want jy moet eers hierdie gaan doen voor jy kan vereenvoudig. So dis 'n min maal 'n min is 'n plus, 1 maal 4 is 4. Y, hou jy die grondtal, tel die eksponente bymekaar, want as jy maal, hou jy die grondtal, tel die eksponente bymekaar. Minus times a minus is a plus, 1 times 4 is 4, keep the base and add the exponents. Now, you can go and separate them, but if you didn't separate them, it's easy now, because look at the top ones, they are like terms. Hierdie boonstes is mos gelyksoortig. So jy kan optel deur te sê, hou die veranderlike, plus die koëffisiënte wat vir jou gaan gee, 12 en dan op 2a. So I never split them up, which is an alternative. If you do an alternative, you still have to get to the same answer if you're doing the maths correctly. So jy tel die koëffisiënte 4 en 8 bymekaar om 12 uit tot die derde te kry. Hou die veranderlike, tel die koëffisiënte op, keep the variable, add the coefficients. Now when you divide, it's plus divided by plus is a plus. 2 gaan in 12 in 6 keer, en the y to the 3 divided by y to the 2, as jy deel in die grondtal is dieselfde, hou die grondtal, trek die eksponente 3 minus 2 af wat 1 is. If you divide, you keep the base y, 3 minus 2 is 1, so that the answer is just 6y. If you did it the other way around, it must work out to the same thing. If you split them up, you would have gotten 2 answers that you can add and still get to 6y. Worst of the worst. So, as ek kan optel, gaan ek. I can't add because they're unlike. Kan ook nie optel nie, want is ongelyksoortig. So wat nou? Nou moet ek die 2 gaan split. Ek het nie 'n keuse. You, as a grade 8 child, doesn't have an option. You have to go say 8x squared over 2x and over 2x with a big plus in the middle, but this is a minus for x. You have the option of writing the minus there, but I don't want to confuse you. Always alternatives are available. So, split dit op met 'n groot vet plus in die middel en daar staan minus 4x. Dan het ek vir jou geleer as hier staan 'n minus, hou hom in 'n hakkie. If it's a minus, the minus is applicable to the whole fraction. So when you split it up, this minus won't be applicable unless it's in a bracket. Hierdie minus is van toepassing op die hele ding. En as jy nie hierdie hakkie hou nie en jy split dit so op, gaan hierdie ding sonder daai minus se effek sit. So jy moet die hakkie daar hou. Very important, after the minus comes a bracket. Then you're going to split minus x squared minus x squared. So these are difficult sums. You get level 1, 2, 3, and this is more on a level 4 for a grade 8 child. So, split jou grondtalle op, big fat plus here. This numerator is 5x to the third minus 7x squared. Onthou, jy sê altyd vir jou as alternatiewe. Gaan nooit vir jou dit nie sê nie. So, grondtalle, min x, die grondtalle, nie noemers, min x kwadraat. Teller, 5x to die 3, min 7x to die 2, skryf 'n groot vet plus daar in die middel. Nou, as ek nou wil gaan verder gaan ek hier kan sê, can I do this so long? Absolutely. There's something to be done. So you can say 2 goes into 8 4 times. And when you divide and the bases are the same, keep the base. 2 minus 1 gives you 1. Jy kon hom eers gelos het, jy kan dit nou al doen. Kan ek hierdie nou al doen? Yes. Eers die tekens. Plus times a minus is a minus. 2 goes into 4 2 times and the x's are gone. So you can show it there to yourself or you don't have to. Maar daar is al klaar 2 antwoorde. Minus, keep the bracket. In hierdie hakie kan jy sê 'n plus en 'n min gee hierso vir my 'n minus. 5 gedeel deur ietsie bly net deur 1 bly net 5 en as jy deel trek jy die eksponente af, so dis x tot die mag 1, 3 minus 2. So it's plus divided by a minus is a minus. Don't do this yet, keep it there. Plus divided by a minus is a minus, 5 divided by 1 is 5. When you divide, you keep the base and subtract the exponents. Again, first the sign. The sign is going to be a plus because a minus divided by a minus is a plus times a plus stays a plus. 7 divided by 1 is 7, and those two can cancel out or become x to the 0, which is 1 in any case. Now, here's where the crafts come in. When you didn't keep the bracket, this wouldn't be a plus and a minus, because a plus, minus times a minus is a plus, minus times a plus is a minus. The rest would just be 5x and 7. Want is net die teken wat daar gemaal is. Min maal 'n min is 'n plus, min maal 'n plus is 'n min. Hierdie 4x min 2 is nog steeds daar. Please do not do half the sum and then all of a sudden the rest of the sum adds together. Every step is equal to the previous one. En nou kan jy optel gelyksoortige terme, want daai x'e is dieselfde veranderlikes, add the like terms. Keep the variables by adding the coefficients. 4 and 5 is 9. Min 2 en min 7 is minus 9. You add the constant terms together. Minus 2 and minus 7 is minus 9. Ek gaan vir jou nog 'n paartjies van daai gee wat ons nou net mee klaar is. Van oefening 8.9, daai nommer 14, 17 en 19 is weer van dieselfde. Those that we have just completed, I'm going to give you 3 more of them for extra exercise so you can see if you understand them. Maybe do them first. Then we are carrying on to the next 2 exercises about square roots and cube roots. In those 2 exercises, we have square roots and cube roots. In oefening 8.11 is vierkantswortels en 8.12 is derdemagswortels. Hoe doen ons die wortels? Soos ek al vir jou gesê het, you'll see, we keep going back. We're going to do substitution next, wat ons al klaar gedoen het. Ons gaan weer vergelykings doen, wat ons al klaar gedoen het. Everything that we do, we're going to repeat it again and again and again. So again, here comes the roots. What do you know about the roots? You must know your square roots and your cube roots. Jy moet weet wat is jou vierkantswortels en jou derdemagswortels. En dan moet jy nou die ding onthou van daai eksponent moet gedeel word hier deur hierdie wortelgrootte. What is this root size here? It's a 2. So when you do this sum, you're going to say 6 divided by 2 is 3. En hierso gaan jy sê, uit tot die mag 4 gedeel deur 2 is 2. You're not adding this because the variables are not the same, so you can't keep the base and add the exponents. Dis apart. Maar omdat dit maal is, kan jy sê, kom ons haal hom uit die wortel uit met eksponent gedeel deur wortelgrootte. Eksponent gedeel deur wortelgrootte. That is the rule. To come out of the root, exponent divided by the root size, which was 2. Exponent divided by the root size, which is 2. So in die volgende ene weer. Nou gaan ek by die getalletjies kom, wat jy moet ken. You must know, 1 to the power 2 is 2, 2 to the power 2 is 4, 9, 16, 25, 36, 47, know them up to 12. Ken jou tweede magswortels, wat is? 1 tot die mag 1 is 2, 1 tot die mag 1 is 2. 1 tot die mag 2 is 1, 2 tot die mag 2 is 4, 3 tot die mag 2 is 9, 4 tot die mag 2 is 16, 25, 36, 49 en ken dit tot by 12 tot die mag 2 wat 144 is. Maar, en dan gaan ons by die derde magte ook kom. So, if I ask you the square root of 64, you should know that it's 8. Because 8 times 8 is 64. Jy moet weet dat 64 se vierkantswortel is 8. En dan wat van die x? Dit gaan wees x tot die mag 8 gedeel deur, daar staan nie niks nie, daar staan nie 1 nie, daar staan 2. 8 gedeel deur 2 is 4. So for the x, it's 8 divided by that root size. There's not nothing there, there's not 1 there, there's a 2 there that we don't write. So it's 8 divided by 2 is 4, and that's your answer. Then we also need to know our cubic numbers. Jy moet jou derde magsgetalle ken. Jou derde magsgetalle is 1 tot die mag 3 is 1, 2 tot die mag 3 is 8, 3 tot die mag 3 is 27, 4 tot die mag 3 is 64 en ken sommer tot so 5 se kant. Know your cubic numbers. 1 to the power 3 is 1, 2 to the power 3 is 8, 3 to the power 3 is 27, 4 to the 3 is 64. So that when I ask you for the root of 64, that you will know that it's 4. Careful, there was a minus. Oopsie, but can there be a minus in a root? Ja, daar kan 'n minus in 'n wortel wees, maar hy moet 'n onewe wortel wees. The only time that there mustn't be a minus in a root is if it's a square root. So if I asked you for square root of minus 64, wat was jou antwoord? Non-real, nie reëel. Non-real, nie reëel. You cannot have that in a square root, in an even root. But you can have a negative and an odd root, in 'n onewe wortel, mag jy 'n minus en dan sal jou antwoord ook 'n minus antwoord wees. If it's a minus in an odd root, the answer will be negative. And then know your powers of 3, ken jou magte van 3. En dan wat doen ons nou met hierdie eksponent? Ons deel 9 deur 3. And 9 divided by 3 is 3. Goed, by hierdie sommetjie, die catch hierso is, as daar 'n minus is, you cannot do the separate roots. You have to first add them, if they can be added. Kan hierdie bymekaar getel word? Hulle is gelyksoortig, so ja. Jy mag nie daai aparte wortel en daai aparte wortel gaan doen en dit dan bymekaar tel of aftrek nie. Hierdie wortelwet werk net vir maal. This root rule only counts if this is all multiplied with each other, that it can come out. If it's minus, you first got to add this. Hoe tel ek hierdie bymekaar? Kan ek hulle bymekaar tel? Ja, hulle is gelyksoortig, so dit gaan ietsie x kwadraat wees. Hoe tel ek hulle bymekaar? Hou die veranderlike, tel die koëffisiënte bymekaar. So 25 minus 9 is 16. If I want to add them, I keep the variable, add the coefficients, and I've done nothing to the root yet, so it must still be there. Nou kan ek sê, vierkantswortel van 16 wat ek ken is 4. En hoe gaan ek daai 2 wegkry? Dit gaan wees 2 gedeel deur 2 wat 1 is. This is going to be the root of 16, which you know is 4 because you know your squares. And then it's 2 divided by 2, which gives you a 1. Same thing, you cannot do them separately. You have to first subtract. If I can I? Yes, they are like terms. Hierdie is gelyksoortig, so dit gaan 'n sekere hoeveelheid x tot die mag 6 wees. Dan gaan dit wees 5 minus 6 wat minus 1 is. Add the coefficients. 5 minus 6 is minus 1. Still x6. You don't do anything to those exponents. It's in an odd root. So mag daar 'n minus wees? Ja, want dit is 'n onewe wortel. So dis hoekom kan ek sê, nou maar wat is 1? 1 se vierkantswortel, derde magswortel, mag 2, mag 200 is 1. The power of 1. Any power of 1, any root of 1's answer is 1. But because it's negative and an odd root, the answer is going to be negative, and there is an answer. It's not non-real. And then 6 divided by 3 gaan wees x tot die mag 6 gedeel deur 3 wat 2 is. 'n Laaste voorbeeldjie. Nou moet jy hierdie apart en daai apart doen. Dis bietjie gemeng. A nice mixed one, because this is a square root and this is a cube root. So you know your square numbers, know your cube numbers. Hierso moet jy jou vierkantsgetalle ken en hier moet jy jou derde magsgetalle ken. Kan daar 'n minus en 'n onewe een wees? Yes, no problem. As hier 'n minus was, wat was jou antwoord gewees? Then the whole sum was not undefined, non-real. Not undefined. Undefined is only when you divide by 0 at your stage. Goed, so vierkantswortel van 16 is 4. En 4 gedeel deur 2 gee vir jou 2. So the square root of 16 is 4. And 4 divided by 2 is 2. Then keep the minus. Keep a bracket because you don't know what's going to happen here yet. First do the sum. Because of the minus, the best thing you can ever do for yourself is after a minus keep a bracket. Die beste wat jy kan doen is na 'n minus, hou die hakie. Want jy gaan nou nog eers hier karring en daai minus gaan vir jou moeilikheid veroorsaak. So, derde magswortel en minus is fyn, maar ek gaan 'n minus antwoord moet hê. So 27 se derde magswortel is 3. You must know that the cube root of 27 is 3. En dan weer eksponent 6 gedeel deur 3 gee vir jou eksponent. 6 gedeel deur 3 is 2. But then a minus times a minus will be a plus. Hier het ek niks verder om te doen nie. Nothing to do in the first term, but a minus times a minus is a plus. En dit kan optel. Why can this add? Because they like terms, so you keep the variable and you only add the coefficients. 4 and 3 gives you 7. Jy hou die veranderlike en tel die koëffisiënte bymekaar. Kan jy sien dat al die reëls is besig om saam te kom. Wanneer ek optel, hoe tel ek op? Wanneer ek maal, hoe maal ek? Wanneer daar wortels kom, hoe gebeur dit? All the rules are together now. Root rules, adding rules with like terms, timing with adding exponents. So you've got to know what you're doing when you're doing maths. And the only way to do that is practice, practice, practice. Hier goed gaan nie net tot jou kom nie, as jy nie oefen nie, gaan jy hierdie stomme nie reg kry nie. Hier is nou moeilike wiskunde en niks van hierdie gaan ooit weggaan nie. This is of the most important work that you could ever do in maths. Everything builds on top of this. Goed.